Let's go, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me on the first ever episode of the Sunday Night Club, brought to you only on BullHorn. Thank you very much, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, cats, dogs. That'd be... So, do you remember that? How am I going to lead into this? Do you remember that weird podcast that was made that was only for dogs? Didn't make any sense to me. Would you leave a podcast on for your dog? Would I? I don't have a dog, but would I put one on for my cat? Probably. My cat's insane. So this is how what I don't tell before your dog would normally fall if Anya wasn't there to keep me on track. I derail every time, but she's very good at keeping it all succinct, keeping me back on track, bringing it back in, and asking questions to keep it on going. But the point of the Sunday Night Club is that we're going to keep going on any tangent, any train, wherever we feel like we're going to go there, because it's Sunday night. You got this work week ahead of you coming up. You don't want to have the work week just dawning on you on Sundays. You're like, oh, my weekend's now finished. I've just got to start prepping for... No, don't prep for work now. What you want to do is join this stream. Talk to me now. Tell me how you are. Tell me what you're doing next weekend. Tell me what we've done this weekend, and we'll just chat, have a nice chill time, and give you something to look forward to. So this is the first ever episode of the Sunday Night Club. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. We have got a few stories to talk about today. We've got a few stories to talk about. Some better than others. That's just the nature of the beast. Am I selling it to you? I feel like I'm not selling it to you, but that is the point of I don't know. But thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. How are we all doing? Good. Check out the poll. I'm going to pop a poll now saying, how is everyone? And I would like you to vote on that poll. Tell me how you're all doing. Good or bad. Do tell me. If you're having a bad day, tell me why you're having a bad day. See if we can improve it as a team. Just whilst we're talking, I was looking up my dog's favourite podcast, made by Listen, a great production company. And they created a podcast on just noises and sounds to help your dog relax whilst you're not at home. So it makes sense that if your dog's got like attachment issues or anxiety, you could just put that on and not have to worry about your dog being alone. It seems like an odd thing to have. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was talking to a girl and she was like, yeah, so my dog's very important to me, I make sure you always listen to his podcast, I'm like, that's a bit weird, that. I'd back away a little bit. I think I'd have my reservations, but it would show that she's a good owner and she cares for a dog. Would that be caring for your dog, or would that be seen as insane and intense? Because I think it might be insane and intense, because that's a lot going on. Maybe you don't bring that up first date. Maybe several dates down the line you go, oh, hey, my dog and I like to listen to this podcast. Would you listen to it as well? That's the next question. Everyone go and look at the poll that I've just put up. Would you listen to the same podcast as your dog? Would you sit there? Like a Joe Rogan experience is like a 2 hour long experience. Thanks for giving me the word in the title, Joe. Would you go and enjoy that for 2 hours? Would you sit there and just go, these are some good sounds? Your dog's like, just A1. It's noises here. I haven't listened to it. In my defense, I haven't listened to it. It might be really good. Maybe it's good for people. Maybe it's like white noise or just like whale song. And it's just like, oh, this is really relaxing. I could fall asleep to this. Maybe I'll try it out tonight. Maybe. Do you know what? I will. Tonight, guys, I'll tell you next week how it goes. I will listen to... Oh, what was it called? My Dog's Favourite Podcast, is that right? My Dog's Favourite Podcast. I'll listen to that. And I'll report back next week to tell you just what it is. Does it work? Has it worked for me? Did it help me sleep? I'm guessing it's not going to help me sleep because I'm not a dog. Yeah. You know, sometimes you say things that you don't really need to explain. And for that one, I feel like I didn't need to tell you that I'm not a dog, because I think no one on the other side of this microphone was going, hang on a second, this Tom kid, is he a dog? Is he woofing or is he talking? I get it. I mumble a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't understand every word I was saying. but I wouldn't say I was barking. Do you know? I feel like this has been an intense 5 minutes already. I feel like a lot has just happened in this past 5 minutes. I pushed 2 polls up and I've just shouted a lot. I'm really just ragging on this podcast, which is probably really good. People worked on it. Like, I know a lot of people that work at Listen, and I've listened to, pardon the pun, I've listened to a lot of Listen's productions, and they're very, very good. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was also very good. It was also made exclusively for Spotify. That's wild. Spotify commissioned it. I wonder what return Spotify got from it. I wonder how many people tried it, because I think that's enough of what you need. Just as long as you get one, you need one listen, right? One stream, not one listen. You need a load more than one listens. You need everyone to do one listen of it, and then it's kind of sold itself, right? You don't need a recurring audience, because everyone goes, I wonder if this works, and they'll try it once and be like, oh, it didn't work, but at least Spotify now have your number on it. So that's a thing. But yeah, so my cat might need something. My cat's insane. I'm happy to say he is a crazy cat, and you know, it's hard to say that you don't love him, but there are many things that he does that I don't enjoy. Like he's very aggressive. He's very clawy. He's very bitey, very hissy. He has his routine, and if you don't kind of fall into his routine, oh boy, he's going to let you know. He is going to let you know. So when he's now 15, which is insane that he's still jumping around, biting you, chasing you as much as he is doing. That is wild for a cat his age, but these things happen, I guess. They happen. I've seen them happen. I've felt them. When he was probably a kitten, so let's say 9 months old, I had to go post a letter. And the letterbox is on the other side of the street and about 4-minute walk up the road. So it's on the other side of the road and I had to walk up. I leave the house and I start walking, and Cornflake, the cat, and maybe that's why he's so pissy all the time, is because we called him Cornflake. We named him after a cereal. I would be annoyed if I was named after a cereal. What cereal would be the best cereal to be named after? Put it in the comments. That's a real good name. If you had to be named after any cereal, what would it be? And would it be Captain Crunch? Because I think I would respect being called Captain Crunch. Tom, derailing your own stories. It's difficult being Anya. So back to the posting story. I was walking to the letterbox. Cornflake joined me. Little pitter patter on the pavement next to me. Thinking nothing of it. Posted the letter. Walked to the opposite side of the road to my house. So all I needed to do was cross this road and then up the driveway, and I was home. I stepped into the road, and the cat swiped for me. Claws out, swiped for me. Oh, I managed to jump back because I got better cat-like reflexes than a cat. How insane is that? I don't always, but sometimes you go, wah, a bit quicker than him. And I then try again. I'm like, oh, he's not going to do it twice. He's just playing. He went for me again. I managed to move. And I was like, oh, am I just now stuck on the other side of this road if I don't want to get clawed to death by this cat? And he's tiny, right? He's no bigger than about 30 centimeters at a 9-month-old cat age. I think I phrased that weirdly, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Like, I was trying to cross the road every time he would go for me. I eventually just manned it, you know. I was like, it's only a little cat. He mauled my legs. He mauled my legs so badly that when I got home from the other side of the road, my parents said, did I fall over on the walk? I was bleeding from this cat who just went slash, bite, slash, bite. My legs were red with blood, and I could not, I can't stress this enough, could not quite believe it. Could not quite? Could not quite. That's not a double negative, is it? That's a regular negative. Couldn't. And couldn't believe that this little cat could inflict such damage in such quick succession. I was in pain. I was not in a great shape, and I was like, why is this cat beating me up? And we thought, oh, he's just a kitten. Maybe he still wanted to play outside. I was still outside. He was outside when we just wanted to play a game. Or maybe it's just he thought that I was out of our territory, because cats are obviously very territorial. Maybe I was out of our range, and he was like, you need to learn a lesson from being out of the range, because this is what happens if... But we all thought he would grow out of it. But like I said earlier, he's now 15, and I've moved out, so he no longer terrorizes me. But I was on the phone to my mum. It's always... Guys, if you've moved out, it's very important to call home at least once every 2 weeks. At least. Because your mum will worry about you, or your dad will worry about... Someone will worry about you, and they'll be like, hey, why haven't you called home? Is everything okay? Everything okay? We've missed you. Is everything okay? So make sure you call home. Or they'll probably call you. That's what happens with me, is I forget, because I'm super busy all the time. So they ring me. And I was on the phone to my mum, blah, 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 blah. And she just goes, oh, Cornflake's just got home. Like he finishes work. Oh, Cornflake's just clocked off and he's just come home. No, it's coronavirus. He's working from home at the moment. And he saunters into the front room where my mum sat on the phone with me. And she goes, oh no, he's looking at me like he's going to attack me. That's how insane all of us Humphreys are. We all just know from a look that, it's time to get a mauling from Cornflake. It's time to get our beatings. It's crazy that we can all just spot this now. We just see him and we go, oh, well, this is how it happens. This is the time for Tom to get his beatings. Anyway, so she's on the phone and she goes, oh, I think the cat's gonna attack me. I go, oh, don't be silly. He's not going to attack you. Tommy's going to attack me. Mum, you're being silly. I don't know why I'm over here going, you're being silly. I've been attacked more than anyone in the house. Tom, Mum, you're being silly. Like, I have been attacked the most in the house. I'm the one who pretty much knows just by like timings when he's going to attack you. But I'm there going, Mum, he's not going to attack you. Don't be daft. And then I start hearing him hiss and do this like weird growl that he does when he's about to attack you. And I go, oh, she is going to get attacked. And then she goes, ow, ow, ow. And she goes, oh, that cat attacked me. And it was because he was on the part of the sofa that he wanted to sit on. She was sitting in his seat. So that was... I understand that from his point of view, is I would attack her too if I wanted that seat. That's the best seat. It's not even the best seat in the house. I don't know why she's chosen that seat in the sofa. But that is Cornflake's seat. And you need to know that's Cornflake's seat. So he's insane. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry you got attacked. And she's like, yeah. That wouldn't be the worst thing if she also wasn't working from home, like most people are in the world at the moment, is working from home. She was on the phone to someone at work and she got attacked by the cat. How embarrassing is that you're on the phone to possibly your manager? It doesn't really matter who you're on the phone to. You're on the phone to anyone and then your cat attacks you. And you either have two approaches. You have to pretend it doesn't hurt, or you have to just say, I'm so sorry, guys. I've just been attacked by my pet. That's insanity to say something so stupid and so weird that you have to go, guys, I'm so sorry. I've just been mauled by a little ginger kitten. I don't know why he's 15. He's not a kitten anymore. I don't know why you'd have to apologise. But imagine being on the other side of the phone going, is everything okay? Yeah, I've just been attacked by a cat. Okay. Sure, why not? And I had secondhand embarrassment from my mother. I was like, oh, Mum, I'm so sorry. I don't know what my apology can do, but I was like, oh, Mum, I'm so sorry. But yeah, he's a real weird one, my cat, because he likes to follow you. He likes to follow you around. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes he follows you, so he'll attack you in the kitchen, and then you'll walk into the living room. And he'll follow you into the living room because, do you know what? He's not quite done with attacking you yet. You think you get away from him that easily? No. He will follow you into the next room and attack you. He's bizarre. But also, if you're trying to get to work or school and you're walking to the train station, he'll follow behind you. I think it's a territorial thing, this one. When you're outside of the house, I think it's territorial. And he will walk with you to the train station. Obviously, the train stations are always along a busy road, so we don't let him go to the busy road. If he's still following us at the top of our road, we'll have to carry him back. We have to pick him up, cradle him in our arms, and carry him back home. Imagine seeing someone cat. You don't know it's their cat either. That's always my biggest fear. Is you don't know it's their cat, and these people are walking down the road with a ginger cat in their arms, in their school uniform. You're like, is that person stealing that cat? And then you You have to weirdly juggle your cat and your keys to try and unlock the front door so you can put the cat down and then close the door and go back off to work. Imagine seeing that. That's a weird sight to see. That's a really weird sight to see. But talking about family on phones. Does anyone's family know how to message them? This is the weirdest thing for me, is my family just don't quite understand texting or WhatsApping or whatever. They just don't kind of read senses in the room. I can't quite put my finger on what it is about it. So my dad, granted, he's not of the era of mobile phones, so I give him his leniency in he sends texts as in a letter format. So it'll be like, "Hi Tom, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Question that he wants to ask me from Dad." I think it's adorable, but also, do his friends message him like that, or is he just decided? Does he go, "Do you know what? I'm gonna break away from the mold. I'm gonna do it my way"? Because I've never messaged him like that. My sister's never messaged him like that. I doubt my mum would have messaged him like that. Apart from that, I don't know who he's messaging. So I always makes me laugh. He goes, "Dear Tom," or "Hi Tom, hope you're well. This is the question I want to ask you from Dad." I'm like, first of all, I've got your number saved. You don't need to attach a Dad at the bottom. B, you should have my number saved, so you don't need to put to Tom. Well, maybe he hasn't got my number saved. Maybe he sends this message to everyone and hopes one of us will reply saying, "Hi Dad, it's Tom." And he goes, "I knew it was going to be one of these 7 numbers. I knew it was going to be one of them." But my mum likes to use emojis a lot, and that's fine. I've no issue with the emoji. Sometimes she uses the wrong emoji, or like emojis in the modern era have now taken like another turn, and she'll accidentally send something not knowing that there's a millennial Gen Z appropriate terminology for said emoji. But she'll still send them, but she doesn't know, and I'm not going to correct her because that's not the type of person I am. But she also puts X's in her messages. No, once again, no issue with sending kisses and messages. However, she puts them in weird places. So if she's asking 2 questions in one text, she'll divide the text up by 2 kisses. "Hi Tom, what do you want for dinner?" Kiss, kiss. "What time will you be home?" Kiss. Why do you need that many kisses? A weird form of punctuation, that. Very weird form of punctuation. It's what she wants to do. That's fine. But again, it's not a normal way of approaching the message. So that's that. Now, my sister is the most similar age to me. She's a millennial, so she's 4 years older than I am. She's been brought up in the same like generation as I am. She had the phone first, so if anyone's going to be able to know phones and memes the best, it would be me and her. Probably me because I'm younger. I've grown up more in that generation, but she should understand memes and whatnot. Now, she sent me this. If you're watching on the stream at the moment, you'll be able to see this picture. If you're just listening to this, it's a weird belt. I really don't know how to... It's a weird belt with an extension around the crotch area that looks like a pole, and you can put donuts on it. So it's... I don't know how to explain this without sounding crude and crass, but it's a belt, and it's got an extension at the front of your crotch area, around your groin. That looks like a long pole, of which you can... It's like a dowel rod that you can put donuts on. And she goes, "You need this." And I do not know how to respond to it. I haven't replied. I've opened the message, and I just don't know how to reply, because that's overtly sexual, that message. That meme that was made from that, I have to imagine, was only made as a mock of like a strap-on type thing, and I do not understand how my sister hasn't seen that's not an appropriate message to send. Like, I sent it to one of my friends, and I was like, "Look at this. Obviously, this is a funny meme. Don't send this to your family member." My sister, however, knows that I like donuts and sent it to me. And maybe she does know that what it could insinuate as. Maybe she's just trying to make a real bad joke at my expense. And I'm just going, this is a weird move. Don't send me this. And she's going, got him. I don't know. Tell me what you think. That's the next poll on the app. So if you're on the app, or if you just listen to the headphones, go onto the app, and I've just put up the question: is this an okay message to send your brother? Just give it a vote. Say yes or no. I'm very, very curious, just to have the sense on the room. But I was looking up this picture for. I felt rude screenshotting it, so I was also curious how much it would cost. So I googled this picture to find out. Donut belts. There are so many donut belts that aren't sexual, which is fine, but most of them are like championship belts with a donut in the middle, like a UFC fight or a boxing fight. You have the gold belt, and it had a donut on it. I was like, what do you have to do? What do you have to do to win a donut belt? And that's a question for you guys. Comment in the comments below. What do you have to do to win this belt? It's now on the screen. What do you need to get this belt for? What competition do I have to win? Because I've done this thing. Well, me and my flatmate Matt have done this thing where we try being the main point of this sentence. We try to have a baker's dozen donuts in one day. We try to have 13 donuts. Never once have we done it. We've done it about 2-3 times. Never once have we done it. For very obvious reasons you can't do it. Is because there's a lot of sugar, a lot of fat, a lot of carbs, and you just shouldn't eat that way because it's incredibly detrimental. But also the thing is, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I reckon I could eat 12 Krispy Kremes and 13 Krispy Kremes in a day. We try and go to different places. So we go to like the Crosstowns, we go to the Donut Times, we go to Greg's, we go to all the places. Some fancy, some not fancy, but some fancy ones are thicker, bigger, doughier, denser, however you want to phrase it, fancier. They've got some fancy ganache in them, on them, whatever, on the side of them. Sometimes they just give you a handful of ganache and a donut. That's not true. That'd be glaze your own donut, chump. Just give you a handful of glaze and a donut. That'd be all weird. Would I go to that? Probably. Would you go to a place where they gave you a handful of ganache and a plain donut and you had to glaze it with your own hand? I'm not putting that one up as a. Do you know what I'm putting up as a poll? Would you go to this place where they just spoonful of ganache on your hand and you have to kind of like lick it off? Do you know what? This is sounding more and more crass with every sentence I go on. But if I completed 13 donuts and Matt, my housemate, didn't, I'd expect a donut belt like this, I guess. Would anyone else? Do you think out there? This is one of the questions I'm going to put up in the poll. Do you think you could eat 13 donuts from 13 different places in one day? Because the other thing is, this is where I start reading off my excuses. You really only have between, let's say, 9 a.m. and about 6 p.m. That's the other thing, because they're bakers. They shut relatively early. Because who is really going, oh, after the clubs, I should really buy some bread and donuts? No, you don't need to. That's what the supermarkets are there for. If you really need last minute things, that's what the supermarkets are there for. The bakers are really just for like a day products. And sadly, I even think that the bakeries might be dying out, because I know for a fact that I don't go to the bakers to buy my bread. I really only go to the bakers these days if I'm doing the donut day with Dobson. But what was I asking? This is something that happens a lot with me. Is I reel off my conversations and I'm not actually listening to what I'm saying, and then I forget what my train of thought was. Do you think you could do it from the 13 different places? Oh yeah, time wise. So you're God, get back on track, Tom. You've really only got from 9 a.m. to about 6 p.m. So that's about 9 hours to eat 13 donuts. That sounds like a long time, but it kind of isn't. Because also you've got to walk to the places, or get a cab to the place, or a train to a place. So going from places, they're not all just like, what if there are 13 shops in one road, it might be a lot easier. But I'm going from Holborn to Farringdon to Leicester Square to Covent Garden to London Bridge to Borough. It's just a load of different places. We're just jumping around everywhere, and because of that, we also have to travel there, and that makes the whole thing a bit more tricky. Makes everything a bit more tricky, because how do you fit all the places in? How do you do it? So if you've got any ideas of the best way to do it, I think if it was just 13 donuts from Krispy Kreme, so you have to buy a box of 12 and then another. So like, let's say 6 glazed, arguably not the best, but people love them, and then 6 chocolate sprigs, the best. No argument in it. It's just a fact. I think, and let's say an extra chocolate with sprigs, because it's the best. So we've got 7 chocolate sprigs, 6 glazed. I reckon I could bang that out in a day, easily. I stand by that. I think I could very, very easily do that. I say that now. Ask me again if I've ever done it. If I ever do it, sorry, not if I've ever done it. If you ask me if I've ever done it, the answer is no, because that's what I just said. Tom, listen to yourself, pal. Come on, figure it out. So it's I love it. I love the donut days. You have your sugar rush and you're like, yeah, I can do this. Yeah. The sugar rush crash, and you're like, oh no, why am I doing this? And then you get your carb way out, so you've just all of a sudden got hit by like a wall of, I've had so much dough and bread in this past 2, because obviously you start way too hot, right? You hit 3 places in the same high street, and you're like, yeah, do you know what? Easy, just another 10 to go. 10's a lot. You just go, yeah, I just smashed 3 in about half an hour. I could do another 10 in the next 8 hours. That's fine. I can do that easily. And then you have 5, let's say, and you go, oh no, you feel sluggish. You feel like you need a nap. But if you nap, that takes out an hour of your day. It's all weighing up. You've got to have like water and like lemons. I've never done it with lemons, but you always need something to off balance that sweetness, because now you're getting like ulcers on your tongue. It's a whole big ordeal. I want to say I'd recommend it. I want to say people should try it, because it is quite a challenge. But also, I don't want to advocate getting diabetes, because it is a lot of sugar in one day. I really wouldn't recommend it, but we are eventually going to do 13 Krispy Kremes in one day, because I think that sounds doable, because the Krispy Kremes aren't that big. They're very light, they're very fluffy. Chocolate sprinkles is a nice like taste, and then glaze if you're feeling boring, so maybe do like chocolate sprinkle glaze, so you've got that sort of off balance. But I think I could do that. I've said it before. I've said it before every time we're doing a donut challenge, where I'd be like, I could do that. But I also think if I was given the incentive of the belt, you see, I always bring it somehow back to what we were initially talking about. If I was talking about doing it for a belt, I think the belt would compel me to try harder. I think if there was a competitive nature of it, because I'm very competitive. I hate how competitive I am. And I think that's probably something we're going to talk about next week, is how competitive I am. It's really bad. It's not a great thing that I am. But do you know what? I'm not a great person. No, it's not a great thing that I do, being this competitive. But it's something I'm very, very aware of, is how competitive I am. Do you know what? That is going to be the subject of next week's episode of the Sunday Night Club. Guys, thank you very much for joining me, Tom Humphrey, for the first ever episode of the Sunday Night Club, brought to you by BullHorn. Thank you very much for joining me. Tune in next week at 8 p.m. GMT for another one of these rambly chats. Get involved with the chat. Tell me how you are doing. Tell me what you want to hear from these episodes. And we'll do this as a little club. It was something to look forward to on your Sunday evenings, because that's the point of this, is Sundays are a bit of got work next week. But what it should be is, we've got that to listen to, and then we've got work. one last little spike of adrenaline for my weekend, and then I'll go back to work. So tune in next week for the next episode of the Sunday Night Club. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm glad you've been enjoying this. I'm glad you stuck around to listen to the end of it. If you have enjoyed, go follow us on Insta and on Twitter at WeAreAudioBox. You'll find out what we're talking about in the next week's episode. And thank you very much for tuning in.